Hello. We're gonna talk. Well, first, this needs to come out. America is losing because everyone is in addiction. In addiction. And honestly, it really sucks for me at the moment. It's been sucking. So, I'm gonna plan ahead a little bit, and we're gonna for myself in the future, I'm gonna talk about the incident command system. Um, the incident command system. So, okay, I'll read you the definition. This is what, from what I remember, how many years ago now, um, being in the National Guard in different different scenarios, working in a very interesting environments. So, when working with systems, I always, like I said, I always like to use Donella Meadows' perspective of understanding systems and reforming and rearranging systems. I'll always say there's two systems here that we function on the planet. There's natural systems, and then there's man-made systems, or human corrupted systems at this point. That we are functioning in. People choose which ones they want by the choices that they make each day. And the majority of people are choosing shit. Anyways, so I worked I was functioning in those systems, and functioning in those systems, they weren't fully they haven't been used like correctly. And I think if something were to happen in the future, it's just knowledge that you should know that if there was an emergency or something, that these systems, or these, like, sometimes I like to think about it as like computer boards or whatever, the little circuits, these circuits exist. And yeah. Anyways, so we would work in trying to understand how to respond to emergencies using these systems. The incident command system, from my knowledge, was set up after 9/11 happened, because all of these emergency response units were being called to, like, a specific incident or emergency, and the biggest problem was communication between these, like, the different emergency response units and people, and having like a hierarchy of structure. It was just complete chaos. So, to sum it up in like one phrase, the incident command system is essentially bringing um, bringing chaos to order. Or you could even say bringing order to chaos. Crazy. Oh man, I fucking hate being alive sometimes. Anyways, so the definition of the incident command system is the incident command system is a standard approach to the command, control, and coordination of emergency response, providing a common hierarchy within which responders from multiple agencies can be effective. So think about, like, again, we'll use the example of 9/11. That's a big trigger, right? Or even, let's just make something up. Let's say all the computer, or let's say all the T-Mobile's, no, yeah, T-Mobile's T-Mobile's networks just completely fry. They fry and go down, right? They won't know anything because they don't understand how, like, that. I'm sure it's not in their, like, system softwares to, like, use the system of the incident command in their hierarchy or in their company, so their company's gonna fail anyways. But So let's say their networks fry and they do try and implement the incident command system within their thing. The responsibility of the incident command system, or IC, it has a responsibility for ensuring incident safety, providing information services to internal and external stakeholders, and establishing and maintaining liaison with other agencies participating in the incident. Now, I'm going to. So, this is a very a very inhumane way of wording things, where what I'm going to try and do is give a little soul to the incident command system. And by doing that, giving soul to it is you treat everything with sacredness and understanding that everything's spiritual. So instead of it being artificial, it's just a fallback. It's a fallback system that I'm choosing with my free will that it will not fail. It's just recognize problems within the language. So where was I going with that? So that, yeah, again, let's say T-Mobile's network fell down or whatever, and they use the incident command system. And they would be like, okay, they would have, let's see, they would have like the job of the commander is to set up, to have a plan of action and set up communication networks. And who's the first person that you're going to communicate to? They are the ones, the incident commanders are the ones that they establish the communication networks and points and who is going to be in what position. There are five major functions. There's obviously there's command, there's operations, finance, administration, logistics, and planning. And the reason why there's five is like so a commander, or like a person, they can only hold, like they can only multitask so much, and they can only um successful commanders can only operate with like, or they can only be in charge of like 5 to 7 other people at a time. So that's why you have to have the hierarchy of this person's going to do this person's going to do that, and then it kind of branches down and trickles down and sets those seeds. So if you imagine like in cyber world or whatever, it's just like a, and yeah, so there's that. Again, the five major functions are command, operations, planning, logistics, finance, administration. So, like, this is the I don't even know fucking why I'm making this video. It's 8 minutes already, and I think I'm making this video is because I was so fucking frustrated with, like, all of the leadership that was involved with every single military unit and all of the leaders that were in it. It's like it's kind of like the same thing as like you see on the dollar bill, where there's just this complete cut off of the triangle and the rest of the pyramid. And that was the one thing that frustrated all of the lower enlisted, was like, we can't fucking function when you guys are being so egotistical and not actually fucking communicating and doing some fucking work. So it failed. It failed in, well, my platoon and my unit, or my platoon, I should say, our company was one of the best in responding to like chemical or like hazardous situations. Again, I'll say this, I was a chemical, biological, radionuclear specialist. I don't know everything, but I have probably more experience, like hands-on experience, and like actual getting called to whatever like situations. So I have more like knowledge in the sense of like hands down. And then also I have understanding within like operation centers as well. And again, like most of the commanders, well, I should say, yeah, we'll just leave that to Rust. Oh. Um, yeah. So, so like the how it would work, like who chooses what position, like who chooses the commander. So what happens is like a commander is chosen by, let's say there is another, like there's like a huge meteor hit like a fucking city or whatever, and it just completely fucking exploded. And or actually no, let me give a better example. Let's say um I go to the park and somebody's in the soccer field or whatever, and I see somebody point blank shoot somebody in the face, or I'm sorry, they shoot somebody in the heart or whatever, and that person dies and the other guy runs away. Because I'm probably the only one in that area that saw that incident, and my knowledge of what I know about like how to respond to emergency situations, if like an emergency, like if other people saw it or whatever, because I have higher knowledge and knowing how to respond, naturally that person or myself would be the one to get chosen to be the commander, because the commander is the one that has the most knowledge and the most experience in accordance with the emergency. And again, a lot of times those things are more so synchronistically or spiritually, it's out of your control who chooses it. That's how it was in the military. Like you would have, we would get some of these scenarios where blah blah blah, like a nuclear or like some radiological something thing leaked or whatever, and um our commander got shot. The next in line was actually a private, because there was nobody else around that saw it and was able to establish like a solid communication network. So yeah, so that's how commanders are chosen. And given the things that I see going on today,